Twyford.
Just to really follow on from those comments, I wanted to raise a couple of questions and invite the Minister and the Chair to give us some explanation based on the briefings that he's had on sections 10 to 12 of the bill. Reading the regulatory impact statement, the section on sort of underlying problem makes quite interesting reading about, it explains how the council's got into such confusion really about the powers. And if I can summarise briefly those comments, what happens is that there was really considerable confusion about the legislative framework and for setting speed limits by bylaw. And after there were significant legislative changes in 2004. Up to that point, councils had bylaw making powers for setting of speed limits under the Local Government Act 1974 and also the Local Government Act 2002. And basically confusion arose between those two powers, and when legislation was drafted in 2004, it appears that there was some confusion that the powers, section 684 of the Local Government Act 1974, was in fact being relied upon by councils, and that the legislation that resulted, basically there was a conflict between the Local Government Act and the specific power limited to ministers in the Transport Act. So I suppose my question for the Minister really is to set out for us, given that we haven't had the benefit of a select committee process with the briefings from officials and the opportunity to tease through this, I would really welcome some explanation about precisely how sections 10 to 12 resolve any of those ambiguities. And in particular, I'd be keen to hear from the Minister about what we're advised that the bill achieves, and that is while clarifying the bylaw making powers for local territorial authorities, it removes the requirement for the regular review, first 5-yearly and then 10-yearly review of those bylaws, because that's the thing that wasn't complied with that has led to these bylaws and all of the offences and infringements and sanctions that flow from it to have been rendered technically invalid. So that's my question, and I would appreciate some explanation.
Dennis O'Rourke.
Mr. Chairman, I want to also ask some questions